everybody. Welcome to Amazing You podcast and YouTube channels. I want to say a big thank you to the audience for watching, sharing, and subscribing. This is the channel where stories of resilience, triumph, and unwavering hope come to life. And in each episode, we dive into the inspiring journey of individuals who have faced the toughest challenges heads-on and emerged victorious. Our aim is to be a beacon of inspiration, offering a guiding light to those navigating through difficult times. And whether you are dealing with health challenges, professional setbacks, or personal struggles, this channel is dedicated to uplifting your spirit and showing you that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to hope and triumph. So join us as we share powerful stories that transcend adversity, reminding you that resilience is a force within us all. So be prepared, everybody, to be inspired to find the strength to navigate life challenges. I am your host. My name is Dr. Rani Thanacoody. I am a clinical hypnotherapist using rapid transformational therapy method. I am also a Mars Venus, life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, tarot reader, past life regression practitioner, chakra practitioner, life force compassion practitioner, and star magic facilitator. And today, I am super excited to introduce you to my wonderful guest. Her name is Wildy Self. Wildy is a private travel planner, a companion, as well as a creativity and travel mentor, art instructor, adventure guide, and facilitator. Wildy has a very interesting bio, everybody. She has been traveling the world from Saudi Arabia, Tanzania, and Kenya, and other beautiful countries from a very early age. And today we have Wildy with us. She's going to tell us more about how she is where she is now, and she will tell us more about her story. So very warm welcome, Wildy, to Amazing You.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here, Rani. I appreciate the invite.
Thank you so much, Wildy. And would you please share with the audience briefly your story, Wildy?
Sure, yes. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri in the Midwest, but my father was passionate about architecture, and my mother she encouraged him to leave small town Fort Worth, Texas, where they were raised, and said, let's go see the world and be inspired by architecture so that you can catapult your career into the next level and become, really aligned with your passion and experienced in it. So that's how we ended up in Saudi Arabia when I was age 3, when my mother said, yes, I agree to go and open an office in Riyadh so that you can design the University of Riyadh and the King's Palace with this large company. So my father worked for the largest architectural firm in the world at that time and all of his life. So that's how we all started, because they came from nothing in Fort Worth, Texas. Nobody had gone to school. Nobody had left, a very small town. And then they just opened the door wide open to the whole world for me at a young age. And from there, I continued through high school. I took every opportunity to go live in Australia, New Zealand with families. And then after the university, which I studied fine arts, so I studied painting, sculpture, and started painting murals in college, which is my passion. However, I have just had surgery because of 30 years of mural painting. So now I've transitioned away from painting and into facilitating travel experiences for solo travelers and small groups, family, friends. I love to just rent a car. Let's say, for example, I arrive in Lima, Peru. So now I'm a full-time nomad. I rent a car and for as long as I can afford, and I'll drive around the entire country in the amount of time given. So usually a country will give me 30 days and I'll extend for another 30. And I want to see everything and learn and explore and find the true gems, the treasures of the culture with an arts and culture based background. And these art adventures are often art centered if my guests are interested in learning more about arts and building skills and just connecting to their creative side, which for me, that means creative problem solving and critical thinking and also connecting to spirit. So this whole universe opens up through us as the conduit when we're in creativity. So yeah, just a little piece about how I got into the position of really enjoying wandering the earth, leaving all my things behind, everything, letting go of my home and car. And now I get to be a full-time nomad, which is what I love. And I'm a traveling nomad, so I don't just live in one place and work on the computer. I actually am doing research, constantly trying to find hidden gems and places where most people don't go, so that I have the firsthand experience and then can share that with others who really want kind of a one-on-one travel experience where, it's a personal journey for them, because I do a choose your own adventure. So basically it's what they need. It's what they want. It's not about, let me show you or I will do this. So that's why I hesitate to say travel guide, but the guide is the facilitator who will open up their path into whatever directions they give me the feedback and they say, here's what I want to accomplish with my journey. And I try to make that happen. So
Thank you so much, Wildy, for sharing that.
Yes. So I will add too that I spent most of my life pre-nomad raising two children on my own for 25 years. Well, my son is 28 now, so I guess 28 years. And my daughter's 20. And I always told them, learn Spanish, find me in South America. And I was a teacher of art in the public schools during their lifetime. So grounded in South Central Missouri on a off-grid homestead. I lived in a yurt with solar panels. And my daughter was born there. Both of my children were born at home with no drugs. And so I got to grow a garden, grow food, and live by the power of the sun, and just kind of return to roots for a long time during the child rearing. But being a single mother is the hardest thing I've ever done. And at the same time, teaching thousands of public school children art So my kindergartners graduated high school. So I have so much love for these young people and formed so many connections. But when it was finished, when my children graduated, I said, all right, next chapter, I'm gonna free myself, and it's time to roll out.
Thank you, Wildy. I will just pause a second because the sound. So, Wildy, from all the great things you've been doing, all the countries you've been traveling, is there a country that you've that hold the most special place in your heart, and why?
Well, I believe it must be Ecuador.
Okay.
And it is so powerful for me personally because I am of the sun. And when I looked at my sun lines and where the sun traveled as I was born, coincidentally, it was right through Ecuador. I had been always searching for places on the sea. I am absolutely drawn by the sea. So the sun and the sea. And there, the Ruta del Sol goes up the coast there. And it was the most magical place personally for me that I have ever been. And then it's also going inland. And I drove all over the country. And when I was inland, I looked up on the computer, I said, volcanoes near me. Okay, I Googled it. And 13 volcanoes were surrounding me. And I've always had such a deep connection to volcanoes because coming from the sun, so I am a sun sign Leo.
Okay.
But when I've been asked, where does your deep emotional turmoil come from? Let's say I'm working with, I worked with a wonderful woman who helped me through, my emotional turmoils and struggles. And she said, what does it feel like? And this was years ago, I said, it feels like a volcano is erupting. That's the way I feel when I feel such an intense energy. And to be surrounded by 13 volcanoes, when I felt at my peak, I felt at my very best. I felt the most peace I've ever felt in my life. So at peace, surrounded by volcanoes. I don't know what that is about, but it was beautiful. And I have an amazing sense of love, so much love for Ecuador. And now I have not been taking people to Ecuador. I have not been doing trips in Ecuador because I saw some things that were some violence that was real cartel-based stuff right in front of me, and pirates. And so people want to go to Ecuador, and I say it's just not safe. I feel I would not take anyone there right now until hopefully it will be returned to the people and out of the hands of, the cartel. So, yeah, I can't wait to go back. But for now, it's off limits in my view. So. Yeah, very special place. The people are so kind and wonderful. The culture, the Maya, the Inca.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
And that's also now why I'm sorry to interrupt. And that's why I continue in Central America now.
Okay.
I'm in Yucatan now and heading back down to Belize because this connection with the Maya is for me is really really important and so soulful and very, very deep. So I find much meaning and connection with that culture. And I've had some amazing spiritual experiences that just blow my mind here. So I'm headed back south to Belize soon. We'll stay there a while.
Okay. You know, such an experienced person in traveling, what advice do you have for solo travelers, especially women, you know, who may be hesitant to explore the world on their own?
Well, that comes up a lot because I'm in many groups where women are speaking about their desire to go alone and wander and experience the earth. And having done it in many places that are, well, my first real education after I graduated, I started in Czech Republic and I was walking to India. Of course, there's an ocean or two there, but I would only take boats and no planes. And that was a year-long journey where I did not make it to India because my body broke down. I was abused, raped many times, locked in, held prisoner twice, just going to buy toothpaste. The man shut the door, and you know, it was absolutely such an eye-opener. And I grew up in Saudi Arabia, so I was back in the Middle East, which I hungered to re-experience that as a grown woman. And I was aware of many of the dangers and the cultural bias, and I was well aware of it. But I thought that gave me, you know, an advantage that I could be strong enough to overcome it. But it was nonstop, the harassment, the targeting. When I got on a bus to go travel 7 hours to the Libyan desert to try to escape the big city and all the people, I went to the oases to kind of have a small country. I thought maybe it would be more simple and I could live in my tent and just, you know, not have as many men targeting me, just less, you know. Well, no, that didn't work out. From the time I got on the bus, they were putting their hands on me. And when I got there, the man that was the director of tourism, who met me at the bus, because I was the only Caucasian woman on the bus. And he said, "Hi, I'm the director of tourism. Where do you want to go?" And I said, "Well, I would like to stay in my tent at one of the oases, at the hot spring." And he said, "Okay, I'll take you there." And then he left me there and did not return in the middle of the desert because I would not submit. So, I mean, I could go on and I won't. The thing is, I am in groups where women are encouraging each other to go travel alone in Morocco and Egypt. I would say, no, please be careful. You will be in danger. But when I speak out, that I actually come into a great deal of opposition, even with women and so men will be in groups for women who will speak out and say, "You're crazy, you're wrong." And other women will say, "You're just instilling fear." You know, they'll come at me and say, "Why are you fear mongering? And don't trash talk our country." And you know, so I find I'm in a really difficult spot with that. And because I'm just trying to warn them and to, you know, tell my truth and to share and protect others. But what I've done is I just decided to invite them to come with me so we can be together, a companion. I am a guide and travel companion. With my experience, I know how to navigate through anywhere now, and to be of a rock and someone there who has insight, and we have each other. Then they have an ally and someone who you know who they can count on. Because being alone in some of these parts, and I'm even talking even Greece, Israel, I had horror stories. I mean, it was my trauma from all of that is piled high, it was a lot. So yeah, I would always encourage you to take a buddy in certain places and to go with someone, to have an ally. On the other hand, I still wander the earth alone as a solo traveler. But I think you just need to follow your intuition, really take the time to see, is this safe? So when I landed in Guayaquil in Peru, I had to take 3 days to really assess the situation.
Right.
Is this, because that is considered the most dangerous city in Peru, but why? And then what I realized when I went to get my drink at the corner shop, the old woman there, it was 4 p.m. She said, "What are you doing out? You have to go in now. You cannot be out here." And, there is a lot to learn. It's a huge learning curve everywhere you go. So I would say just research, follow your intuition, take a buddy. And right now, everything is very sensationalized in the travel world with Instagram and, fads of all kinds, like solo travel for women, but wandering off into areas where, like Morocco and Egypt, I would never go alone.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's so important to be prepared, to do our research, and to be safe when we travel. There are some countries that are safer, but some countries that are not as safe for women traveling alone. Yeah, I definitely agree that we have to listen to our intuition and keep ourselves safe. It is our responsibility to look after ourselves. Because I have traveled a lot of countries, but I make sure that I am safe wherever I go, that it is a country that is safe as well, that I will not put myself in danger. And I had amazing experiences, beautiful memories, meet wonderful people. But I think doing our research, getting informed, knowing also the reality of life, that not every culture women are seen the same way. So I think it's traveling with the eyes and ears wide open. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And also with making sure our intuition as well, listening to our intuition to guide us.
Yes. Yeah. And always making sure that we are know that we're safe to make any choices, and to guide ourselves away from something we really had our mind set on, and yet it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Or something, if it doesn't feel right, to you. Intuition.
Thank you, Wildy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you share with us, how did WildysWorld Art Center come to be? And what was your vision when you first opened its doors?
Okay, yes. Well, as a muralist and absolute fanatic of art making,
okay,
I realized that I really wanted to share that experience with others. I wanted others to get to feel the joy that I felt when I was creating. Most artists will just often they have a vision and they want to achieve it, and then they feel fulfilled. But for me, that process of art making and just the doing of anything creative and artistic, that's the joy and that's the gift. And I want to share that. So after graduating college, I moved back to St. Louis, and that the City Museum opened. Okay, there was a special new place, the City Museum downtown. I went there, and it was not like any other museum. You could touch everything. It had moving parts. It was all recycled. It's in a giant warehouse. It's still there. And I went after they opened, and I went back the following day. I was so excited with my portfolio, and I said, I want to work here. I want to make art with the people. There was a floor called Art City. And I said, I would love to just paint with the people every day. And she said, okay, let's go. Here's your space. We have everything you need. Just do what you want to do. And so I set up collaborative murals. So rather than me painting murals, now it was, we are going to paint this mural. And the theme is, the first one was insects. And so that is, you invent your own insects or look up your favorite, or, and we're doing this together. So it's teamwork and collaboration. And after doing that for 2 years, I later, when I had the opportunity, just a few years later, after I had been through the next chapter, I decided that I am going to have a studio where everyone can paint on large pieces, and we can have mural parties and, everything collaborative and art creative centered. So that's how WildysWorld started. The way I would describe my vision of creativity and the act of creating, and like I've spoken with you about it, is, that's what WildysWorld is. It's this magical place where there are no rules other than, of course, respectfully working together, but there's no wrong way to play at WildysWorld. So that's how it started. And I had the opportunity to take a brick and mortar in the town of Columbia, Missouri, after I landed there, and that's where my daughter finished school. So I had the studio, actually 3 different studios and galleries, consecutive, not at the same time, but I kind of upgraded, and that became a reality. And after COVID hit, and I had to close my doors because we couldn't have group anything at that point, and I didn't want to pay rent. I took the show on the road, and it became a traveling studio for outside events and parties and community events. So community building became a big thing, a team builder, murals, and from the traveling studio.
Wow, that is amazing. And how important do you think Wildy is community at this present time in building communities?
Wow, it's just so important for us to support each other and to have a sense of family and belonging and understanding, mutual understanding and respect, and working together to achieve whatever we think we need to do now, which I would like to see us building a new world and new realities that are more accepting and loving and sustainable and healthy. So I think that is really crucial, that we come together, and whether it be on our group chats here on Zoom, in those kinds of communities, or or together hands-on. It's what we need, because people feel so isolated, alone, and very in lack. They feel, so many people are lacking that, that spark of life affirming joy, presence in their life, something greater. And they have sunken, so many, I feel, have sunken into a deep place where they're not happy, and especially in the United States. I'm gonna just say it after going here, there, and everywhere. I really feel that their lack of spirit it's devastating, and very sad. And community, is the key to say, hey, I've been through something similar and I feel you, and we can come out the other side together. And how can I help? Yeah. So important.
Absolutely, I 100% believe like you that we need to build back communities, because that help us to feel more connected, to give us a sense of purpose, of belongingness, and also to feel less stress. When we are in communities, we can share our trouble, we can communicate what we feel, what we think. Then there is, if you look at it in the tribes, there were no depression a long time ago. There were no anxiety, because if one person is not there, you could go to somebody else in the tribe. But now we are living isolated and thinking that it's a good thing. But it's not. It's doing us more harm than ever. Like, depression is in every family that you talk, somebody is suffering from depression because of the isolation, of the disconnection, of not communicating with each other. So I really believe, to everybody listening, if you are not in a community, in a group, join and find a group, find a place where you can join, where you share similar interests, and be part of that, because that's what kept me going during COVID. I was in so many groups and I didn't feel alone in any time, but I was alone in my flat. But those communities uplifted me, gave me hope, gave me friends that I have now from all over the world. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So happy you mentioned that, and that you were able to take full advantage, to thrive in such a time of isolation. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's very helpful.
And I'm glad you talk about that too, because it's not very common that we talk about the importance of community, but it is super important in our day-to-day life to build communities, to be part of a community. Because no man is an island. We need each other. We are not here to compete against each other. We are here to help each other. We are here to thrive and to help each other. And every successful person you will meet, you will see that behind them is a team of people supporting them, cheering them up, and guiding them, helping them. So we can't do anything always by ourselves. We need each other. Even on your trips, you had people who help you, I'm sure, people who guided you, you asked for direction. So there was, in some way or another, you didn't just, were not never by yourself. You had the driver guiding you, the guide, somebody there always. Yeah. And in challenging times, Wildy, what personal mantra or philosophy do you rely on to stay resilient and focused? Because you had a lot of challenging times during your travel. What was one or two mantra that help you?
Yes. So recently, about 1 year ago, I had endured the most traumatic time of my life. And I started, when I was able to stop and heal, begin to heal and to take steps to help myself, I started listening to frequencies, healing frequencies on YouTube, and tapping into sound healing. And I would lay at times when all I could do was lay in my bed and breathe. I would listen in morning, noon, and night, whenever I could, to frequencies of healing and meditate with them. And also I would visualize. So visualization is my number one, and I would just visualize as I breathe. I call it the golden flush. Okay, I developed this because the sun on the water is the most purest form of energy that I know. And when I see the sun on the water, that moving gold, liquid gold, I would breathe that in through me and let it fill and flood through my body, and release out my feet the dark matter, whatever did not serve me, whatever I wanted to rid myself of. So even if I was having a negative thought, a nightmare, some kind of it was back. And during that time, I was always thinking about these horrible things that had happened on repeat. Well, every time I thought of it, I would stop myself and I would just flush that out of my body with this golden liquid light until it was all clear. And then I was just flooded with golden love, light. And that's the way I survive. Also, protecting myself with pure light. So visualization is my favorite healing tool, and I feel like it will transmute any kind of negative into a beautiful, clear source, divine essence.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Wildy. And for individuals today, Wildy, who are watching and listening to you and who are facing some tough times, what advice or steps can you offer them today to navigate or eventually overcome adversity?
I would say to hermit yourself, to focus on yourself and find your peace. So if you can make the space and the time to quiet yourself and focus solely on your needs. I know it's not always possible, but whatever time you can to become very simply just a light that emanates from you. Just take it back down to basics and meditation and breathing, just the breath, for example. I think the breath, just breathing, is the best way to find that peace within yourself. That is the starting point to begin to heal anything or overcome. Also, you might look up EFT, because that is the tapping and the triggering of points as you're breathing, and you trigger points in sequence. So emotional free technique, EFT, is one that I use immediately when I'm having a very difficult time. Breathing and tapping can just release you from the throes of negative or any stress, just de-stress and be able to just have a more positive outlook. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing those with us. How can people stay updated or get in touch with all your beautiful work?
Okay. Well, so my website is WildysWorld.com, and I'm trying to rework that right now and make it more accessible, update all of my things. So the best place to find me is on Facebook, Wildy Self or WildysWorld, or Instagram, WildysWorld Art, where I love color and art and life and nature. So the photographs on the Insta are really fun. But the information is on Facebook. I post because it is a visual means. I post basically every day, and also the group is Art Adventures, Wildy's World Worldwide, which you'll see all of that there. Reach out to me anytime, but that one will give details on private trips or art camp or personal retreats. And yeah, I would love to chat if anybody wants to reach out. And my email is wildysworldart@gmail.com. That's WILDYSWORLD is one word, WildysWorldArt. Yeah, so please reach out if you're interested or want to talk travel or art.
Thank you so much, Wildy, for sharing your time, your precious time today, and for sharing your experiences, your knowledge. It's been wonderful talking to you. It's been really inspiring listening to your story. And I would like to wish you the very best in your future endeavors, in your future travel, and a lot of success in everything that you do.
Thank you, Rani. You too. I really am so happy to be here, and thank you all for listening. And I appreciate you and wish you well.
Thank you so much, Wildy. And I would like to say a big thank you to the audience for watching, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you all very soon. Lots of love and light to everyone. Bye-bye.